Okay, so ready to take a deep dive into sovereign AI.
Yeah, let's do it.
This isn't just like another tech buzzword.
Right.
We're talking about countries now wanting to build their own, like, special blend of AI.
It is fascinating to see that AI is kind of going beyond just being a tool, you know? It's
Yeah.
becoming like almost like a strategic asset.
Yeah.
Almost like a nation's secret ingredient. Countries are realizing that, you know, the AI that they develop, it's going to reflect their values, their priorities, their culture.
You know, it's almost like Denmark, for example,
Yeah.
wants to create AI that really embodies, their focus on social welfare and sustainability.
Yeah.
Maybe even powered by those weight loss drugs they're so famous for.
Yeah, well, they are efficient.
Talking about efficiency.
Right.
But, it's not just about the algorithms.
Right.
This push for sovereign AI is driving massive investments in infrastructure,
Yeah.
supercomputing clusters, these specialized data centers.
Yeah, the whole shebang. It's like a digital arms race.
It is.
But instead of stockpiling weapons, they're building the foundation for, like, their own AI empires.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of empires, the U.S. just dropped this huge executive order on AI infrastructure,
Right.
really laying down the law on how America is going to dominate this whole sovereign AI landscape. And this executive order is like a total game changer.
Yeah.
It's not just about building powerful AI, it's about controlling the entire ecosystem.
Oh, yeah.
From securing those supply chains, making sure they have the crucial component like semiconductors,
Right.
to even like streamlining the permitting process, making it easier to get these massive AI data centers built.
Yeah.
And they even get down to the nitty-gritty, like saying, hey, these data centers need to be powered by clean energy.
So it's like making sure that American AI is built by American hands,
Yeah,
powered by American resources, and guided by American principles.
that's a key takeaway for sure.
It's like taking control. Yeah. The executive order is very clear about promoting American innovation, reducing reliance on foreign technology.
Yeah.
It even calls for, collaborating with allies to build what they call trusted AI infrastructure abroad.
Trusted AI.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Right.
Is it about shared values, technical standards, or just good old geopolitical alignment? It sounds like that could very easily be used to exclude certain countries or companies.
That's the million-dollar question. Who gets to define trusted in this context?
Yeah.
It definitely raises those concerns, about potential fragmentation.
Right.
And even a digital divide where access to certain AI capabilities could be limited, based on your political alliances.
So, this executive order is a bold move.
It is.
It's ambitious, it's comprehensive,
Right.
and it's probably a bit controversial, but it definitely puts the U.S. at the forefront of this whole sovereign AI movement.
What's clear is that the U.S. is sending a strong signal. They're not just going to be players in this AI game. They want to be the referees, too. How this plays out on the global stage.
Right.
Well, that's a whole other can of worms. This whole trusted AI framework, it could have, like, ripple effects.
Yeah.
Far beyond just infrastructure.
Okay.
You think about it like if access to certain AI technologies or data sets
Right.
becomes restricted
Yeah.
based on these trusted partnerships,
Right.
it could reshape global research, collaboration, innovation,
Wow.
even the flow of information online.
So it's not just about who builds the AI,
Right.
but like who gets to use it and what they can use.
Exactly.
It's almost like setting up a VIP club for AI, but the membership fees
Yeah.
are paid in geopolitical favors.
Precisely. And this raises another fascinating aspect of this executive order.
Okay.
This whole creation of a national AI reserve.
Oh, wow.
Imagine, like, a strategic stockpile
Yeah.
of cutting-edge AI models, algorithms, massive data sets, all carefully curated,
Yeah.
controlled by the U.S. government.
It's like Fort Knox.
Yeah.
But instead of gold bars, they're hoarding algorithms.
That's a good way to put it.
So what's the thinking behind that?
Right.
Is it about protecting American IP?
Yeah.
Ensuring access to critical AI resources if there's like an emergency?
Yeah.
Or is it something else entirely?
I think it's probably a combination of factors.
Okay.
On one hand, it's about safeguarding American AI advancements,
Right.
making sure they don't fall into the wrong hands,
Yeah.
whether it's rival nations or just malicious actors.
Right.
On the other hand, it's also about ensuring that the U.S.
Yeah.
has that strategic advantage in AI development and deployment,
Right.
especially in critical areas like national security and defense.
But couldn't this couldn't this lead to a kind of AI isolationism?
Yeah.
Like if everyone starts hoarding their AI treasures, wouldn't it stifle global collaboration
Yeah.
and slow down progress in areas like AI safety or ethical development?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
The executive order does emphasize collaboration with allies.
Right.
But it's still unclear how this national AI reserve would actually be integrated into those partnerships.
Right.
Would access be restricted? Would it be shared selectively?
Yeah.
Would it be used as a bargaining chip in international negotiations?
Okay.
These are all questions that will need to be addressed as this strategy kind of unfolds.
And what about the role of private companies in all of this?
Right.
The executive order talks a big game about public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk that this just ends up further empowering
Yeah.
the tech giants that are already dominating the AI landscape?
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Yeah.
The U.S. government, they clearly recognize that they need the expertise and resources of the private sector to actually achieve these sovereign AI ambitions.
Okay.
But how do you incentivize private companies to participate without creating a monopoly or stifling competition from smaller players?
It's like walking a tightrope
Right.
between promoting innovation but preventing a handful of companies from cornering the market on American AI.
Exactly.
And then there's also the question of how much control
Right.
will the government actually have over these private AI initiatives?
Exactly. Where do you draw the line between fostering this, vibrant and competitive AI ecosystem, as
Okay.
the executive order puts it, and ensuring national security and control over sensitive technologies?
Yeah.
These are questions that are going to be debated and litigated for years to come.
So it seems like while the U.S. is charging full speed ahead
Yeah.
with this sovereign AI strategy,
Hmm.
there are still a lot of unanswered questions about how this will actually impact the global AI landscape.
Right.
The role of private companies and even the future of international collaboration.
Oh, sure.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking.
It is.
And it definitely feels like we're on the cusp of a major technological and geopolitical shift.
What's fascinating is how this push for sovereign AI is playing out differently around the world. While the U.S. is focusing on securing supply chains and building those trusted partnerships,
Right.
other countries are taking very different approaches based on their own unique priorities and challenges.
So spill the tea.
Right?
What are some of the other flavors of sovereign AI brewing out there?
Well, take China, for example.
Okay.
Their approach to sovereign AI is deeply intertwined with their ambition to become the global leader in AI by 2030.
Right.
They're investing heavily in research and development, talent acquisition, and building this robust domestic AI industry that's largely independent of Western technology.
So for China, sovereign AI,
Yeah.
it's about more than just national pride. It's about economic dominance and global influence.
Exactly. They see AI as the key to unlocking their next phase of economic growth and securing their position as a technological superpower.
And what about a country like the UAE? They're not exactly known for being a tech powerhouse.
Yeah.
So what's driving their interest in sovereign AI?
The UAE is a fascinating case study.
Okay.
For them, sovereign AI is less about global dominance
Okay.
and more about nation building
Right.
and kind of future-proofing their economy.
Right.
They're investing heavily in AI to diversify away from oil dependence,
Okay.
to improve government services, and to create a more sustainable and technologically advanced society.
So different strokes for different folks, right?
Exactly.
Each country is approaching sovereign AI with its own unique flavor and objectives.
Right.
Almost like a global buffet of AI strategies.
Yeah.
Each dish,
Yeah.
reflecting the cultural and political ingredients of its origin.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights the fact that sovereign AI is not, a one-size-fits-all solution. It's
Right.
complex and multifaceted,
Okay.
and it will continue to evolve in diverse and unpredictable ways.
We've talked about the U.S. and China, but I'm curious about how smaller countries are navigating this whole sovereign AI landscape.
Yeah.
It seems like they could easily get overshadowed
It could.
by these tech behemoths.
It's true. Smaller nations, they definitely face unique challenges in the sovereign AI race.
Yeah.
They often lack the resources, the
Yeah.
infrastructure, and the talent pool of their larger counterparts.
Okay.
But some are finding creative ways to kind of carve out their own niche.
Like Denmark, with their AI factory powered by weight loss drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Denmark is a great example of a country that's leveraging its own unique strengths
Yeah.
and focusing on specific AI applications where they can actually excel.
Right.
They're investing heavily in healthcare AI, sustainable energy solutions, and even using AI to preserve their cultural heritage.
So even in this era of global AI competition,
Yeah.
there's still room for smaller players to make a meaningful contribution.
Absolutely. Sovereign AI isn't just about who has the biggest computers or the most data.
Right.
It's also about creativity, ingenuity,
Yeah.
and finding innovative ways to leverage AI to address, local needs and global challenges.
This is all pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
We've gone from talking about AI infrastructure to national AI reserves to a global buffet of AI strategies.
Right.
It's clear that sovereign AI is a game changer.
It is.
It's also incredibly complex and constantly evolving.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface here.
I agree. And the deeper we dive into this topic, the more questions emerge.
Right.
For example, we've talked a lot about the potential benefits and risks of sovereign AI from a national perspective.
Right.
But what does this all actually mean for individuals like you?
Yeah, that's a great point. We've been talking about governments and corporations.
Right.
But how does all of this impact the everyday lives of people around the world?
That's where things get really interesting. Think about how AI is already shaping your online experience.
Yeah.
From personalized recommendations to targeted advertising.
Okay.
Now imagine a world where those algorithms are not just designed to maximize engagement or profits, but to actually reflect the values and priorities of your government.
Wait, are you saying that the AI that I'm interacting with online could be subtly nudging me?
It could be.
Towards certain beliefs or behaviors based on my country's political agenda?
It's certainly a possibility.
Okay, that's a bit unsettling, to say the least.
It is, and it raises all sorts of questions about transparency and accountability and even the potential for manipulation.
Right.
How do you know if the information you're getting online has been filtered or biased by AI systems that are aligned with your government's ideology?
It's like the internet is becoming less of a global village and more of a collection of walled gardens, each with its own curated reality shaped by AI.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah. It's a valid concern, and it highlights the need for greater awareness and critical thinking in the age of AI.
Right.
We need to be more discerning about the sources of information that we're consuming online.
Okay.
And be aware of the potential for that algorithmic bias.
So it's not just about governments building their own AI.
Right.
It's about citizens understanding how that AI is shaping our world.
Exactly.
And making informed choices about how we interact with it.
Absolutely. We need to be active participants in this AI revolution, not passive consumers.
Right.
We need to demand transparency from those who are building and deploying these technologies.
Okay.
And hold them accountable for their impact on society.
Yes, this is a lot to process.
It is.
It's exciting, it's scary.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like we're at a crossroads in human history.
I agree.
The choices that we make about AI today will have profound consequences for generations to come.
Couldn't agree more. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to raise awareness and to empower individuals to be informed and engaged citizens in the age of AI.
So we've explored the geopolitical landscape of sovereign AI.
We have.
The impact on private companies and the potential implications for individuals like you.
Right.
But there's one more piece of this puzzle that we need to address. The ethical dimension.
Ethics.
Yeah.
The perennial conundrum of technological advancement.
Right.
As AI becomes more powerful and more pervasive, the ethical considerations just become more complex and more urgent.
Okay.
And with sovereign AI, those ethical dilemmas are amplified even further.
So let's unpack that. What are some of the specific ethical challenges that arise when you combine AI with national interests and geopolitical agendas?
Well, one of the most pressing concerns is the potential for bias.
Okay.
We know that AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on.
Right.
And if that data reflects the biases and prejudices of a particular culture or government, those biases will inevitably be baked into the AI's decision-making processes.
So a sovereign AI system
Yeah.
built by a country with a history of discrimination
Right.
could end up perpetuating those same inequalities.
Exactly.
Only now with the added weight of algorithmic authority.
Exactly. And because these AI systems are often so opaque and complex,
Right.
it can be really difficult to actually identify and address these biases.
Okay.
It's like trying to untangle a knot in the dark.
And I imagine this gets even more complicated when you factor in things like national security and defense.
Right.
If a country is using AI to protect its borders or to fight wars, the ethical
The
stakes
stakes are high.
become incredibly high.
Absolutely. When you're talking about AI systems making life or death decisions, the potential for harm is enormous.
Yeah.
And the question of who is ultimately responsible for those decisions, the AI, the programmers, the government, becomes incredibly murky.
So it's not just about building ethical AI. It's about building ethical governance structures around AI.
Exactly.
Especially in the context of sovereign AI.
Precisely. We need to develop international norms and standards for responsible AI development and deployment.
Right.
And those norms need to be grounded in fundamental human rights and ethical principles that transcend national borders.
This is heavy stuff.
It is.
It feels like we're grappling with some of the biggest questions of our time.
We are.
The nature of power, the role of technology, the very essence of what it means to be human in a world that's increasingly shaped by AI.
And there are no easy answers, but by engaging in these conversations, by asking tough questions, by demanding accountability from those who wield this powerful technology, we can hopefully steer the course of AI towards a more just and equitable future.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot: AI, infrastructure, national strategies, ethical dilemmas, all that. But here's the question that's been bugging me. What does this all mean for the future of the internet itself?
That's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little scary. If this whole sovereign AI thing keeps growing, we could see the internet we know become a lot more fragmented.
Fragmented? Like how?
Imagine a world where everything you see online, all the information, the services, even the people you connect with, are all filtered.
Filtered? By what?
Through AI systems that reflect your government's values and priorities.
So instead of one global internet, we'd have a bunch of little national internets.
Exactly. Each with its own rules, its own biases, its own AI-curated reality.
Whoa. That's like digital culture shock.
Yeah.
What would that even do to global communication?
Think about it. Trying to have a conversation about, say, climate change?
Yeah.
When everyone's getting completely different information shaped by totally different worldviews?
Finding common ground would be impossible.
Pretty much. The internet could actually divide us more than it connects us.
That's a pretty bleak outlook.
It is. But that's why talking about the ethical side of sovereign AI is so urgent, before it's too late to change course.
But how do we even start? This sounds huge.
Well, the first thing is we need to remember this isn't just a tech problem.
It's a people problem.
Yeah. We need more communication between cultures, more understanding, and we need to think critically about what we see online and the AI behind it.
So we can't just hope AI will fix everything. We need to be involved, right, in how it's developed and used.
Exactly. Ask the hard questions, demand transparency from the people in control, push for ethical collaboration. It's not about letting AI run things. It's about making sure AI serves us.
Wow. This whole deep dive into sovereign AI has been a real trick. Exciting, scary, and definitely feels like we're at a turning point, not just for technology, but for humanity.
And remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. We're all shaping it with the choices we make.
So we better choose wisely. Thanks for joining us on this journey into sovereign AI. It's a topic that's not going away anytime soon. So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. Until next time, keep exploring.